Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday Group Q&A call. I am Kevin T. Robertson, CEO of SpeakerFocus.com, here with the team from Speaker Focus and the one and only Mr. Auston Troyer. We are here to tackle the difficult questions and answer any and all questions pertaining to growing your speaker business. I want to tell you, let's just set the tone, as I'm already seeing hands go up in the group Q&A. I will be right to the first question in a second. I want to share with you the word of today is warfare. If you're experiencing warfare, which is nothing but conflict, if you have conflict going on in your speaker business, time to clarify, time to come up with strategies, time to end the year very, very strong, slide into home plate with a real strong plan going into 2022. My goal tonight is to build a bridge from where you are right now versus where you want to go and help you get there. Very first question up on the board is Charlene Giselle. Charlene, talk to me.
Hello, KTR. How are you?
I'm doing super fantastic. I couldn't be any better on a Monday. It was up, it was down, but I still won. How are you feeling?
Well, I'll tell you what my boyfriend told me today, quote of the day. Said, sweetie, I think you're a bit too tired to do KTR tonight. And I said, no, but you see, it's exactly the reason I need KTR because I have to see him. And then he gave me a big smile and he was like, you go and do your KTR then.
I love it. I love it. You tell me, I love it when we have supportive spouses or significant others. It makes a huge difference in the platform. We sure appreciate your dedication showing up. What is your question tonight?
So a quick one, maybe for Auston, and I'm very conscious of everybody's time, so I don't want to bring up anything that's I could find on Google, but I tried to dig hard and I tried to dig deep and I couldn't find the answer. I have a presentation tomorrow, all done already, all good, but
okay.
It's on Teams and not Zoom. So I spent a lot of time, downloading the app and making sure I'm familiarizing myself. And I did a test drive today. And there was just one thing that I can't seem to figure out. My share screen is working beautiful. I tested it with my partner, but I can't seem to see myself presenting when I'm on Microsoft Teams. I can only see my shared screen and I can't see like a little side of myself. I tried the setup side deck. Anyway, I just thought if anyone knows of a tutorial or a setting that I might have missed, I will be immensely grateful because I can't seem to find the magic solution.
Okay, ask a more direct question. Your problem is, and then Auston will jump in here and see if he has a solution for it.
Sure. My problem is that when I share my screen, then my computer shows me all that I'm sharing and it doesn't show me anymore. It shows my screen as opposed to showing me. And it's not a vanity point. It's just that obviously because I'm presenting and I'm making it quite engaging, I would like to be able to make sure that my camera and my video is being seen as well.
Got you. Okay. All right. Troy, did you hear that? Okay. A minute. Yeah, there he is right there. Oh, he's connecting audio, Charlene. Give me a sec.
Yeah. No problem. Sorry for the tech question. I hope it's okay.
Hey, yeah, I'm here. Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course. So on Teams, Microsoft, when I share my screen, although I've selected the side with the logo where it says share screen and show the video camera on, I can see my screen all right, and I can see the slides that I share, but I can't see myself.
Yeah, so I've never used Microsoft Teams. We typically recommend Zoom for a couple reasons. It's mostly because, most of your prospects are going to be familiar with it because they probably used it before. Teams doesn't have as wide of adoption as Microsoft, or doesn't have as wide of adoption as Zoom. So you're going to have like better show up rates and less technical issues if you use Zoom. But I'm sure I would just go on YouTube and search around if you want to continue using Microsoft Teams, because you might be able to find a solution there.
Sure. No, that's fine. So is it like, I guess it's a question for both you and KTR. Is it something that you would feel comfortable as a speaker to say when a client requests Teams? Are you comfortable with rebutting and say, look, I appreciate that's your preferred system, but I would rather present on Zoom? Because I tried, but they said they really needed it to be Teams.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't fight them then if they're adamant about using it. I would look into I would research before, if they have a new system you haven't done before, just before your call, just simulate that you're like hopping on the phone with a prospect and try out all these kind of key features of your sales presentation and make sure it all works well. So I'd probably just do some research on Microsoft Teams and don't add a lot of friction. Don't try to make them use your platform because after all, they're the customer and you're trying to get their money. So if they're adamant about it, that makes sense. They have probably some internal, either security reason or they want to have the call recorded for future reference. So I'd probably just stick with it and just try to figure out a solution.
Makes sense. That's all then. Thank you so much. Thanks, Austin.
Charlene, let me just add this on there too, is sometimes we have to be accommodating to customers because we may control the narrative of the content that we're delivering, but they do control the budget and the way it's going to flow. And it's really all about creating as less friction as possible. So if it is a preferred platform that they want to use, then open yourself up for new learning. This is what being a speaker is all about. And the level of service that you deliver to them is going to pay off big time if you are open to be flexible and to create some changes. If you can make a recommendation of Zoom and they can go for it, great. If they insist and it's going to cause friction to separate you from the money, then learn by Microsoft Teams it is.
Completely noted. Yes, thanks.
Okay,
and,
no problem.
really appreciate that. And could I run through something really quick with you? Would that be all right? And then that's it for today.
Yeah, go ahead. We got time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, appreciate it. So this is a new one and I reworked through my little intro and I would love to just run my intro, which is no more than 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be okay. You're saying this is the intro to your speaker video demo?
No, this is the intro to one of my signature program that you signed off on, the how to overcome anxiety at work.
Got it. Okay, I'm all ears. Go ahead.
Okay. So just to set the scene here today, I want to ask us all why we're talking about anxiety. We all know that we're facing a mental health crisis, and the return to the office after the long period of remote working has thrown a curveball on our mental health. We need to build strong health confidence in this new world. If we look at statistics, they're quite staggering. There is now 1 in 6 workers experiencing mental health issues. Now, I could go on and give you slides and slides and statistics, but what I'm choosing to do instead today is give you 2 quick case studies about my clients, John and Emma, that have been facing a huge amount of anxiety to return to the office. John and Emma both implemented the triple R strategies that I'm about to explain today and have successfully returned to the office. And then I'm explaining. So it's just a little intro setting the scene. That's it. It was just my intro part.
Okay, well, first of all, that felt good. Remember, effective communication, it should feel good and it should sound good. Mm-hmm. So also too, I remember in an email, you got the response that I polished up your email response.
Yes,
right?
That's it.
Okay, so keep that in mind that when we verbalize something, it's going to come out different. Written format is different. You have to get better at polishing up the way you respond to your clients in an email format because the messaging is a little bit broken in there. Now that may be because whenever you have there's a language barrier. And what's your native language, by the way?
French.
Okay, so it's French. So I could see that when you wrote that in English and it was a bit broken. Not that it was broken English, the messaging was, it wasn't flowing. So you got to learn to get better at your email communications. See how it flowed when I sent it over to you and the response I wanted you to say to them?
Yeah.
Just learn from that template like that and keep the messaging like that versus what you had before. It just makes the connection. Remember, your job is to keep the client engaged, keep them very close to you, and make sure that you're committing the right verbiage. Your word play is huge. Within the parameters of your word sequences, remember, you have power phrases and sound bites. Those are the things that bring action to the entire sentence, and it makes it fun to read and it gives them value. Just keep that in mind and keep it real simple and keep improving on that kind of language, and you're going to be fine. Okay,
perfect. And do you think it's okay when you're presenting to say that you've changed the name of your client to keep them anonymous, to say, you know, I'm going to talk about case study. Please note I've changed the name to keep my client's confidentiality. Is that a right thing to say, or do people just assume that?
Sure. If you're dealing with a situation of a sensitive nature, then my rule is, when in doubt, don't say it. When in doubt, don't do it. If you have to protect the anonymity of a client, then do so, you know, especially if you feel like it's going to, you know, you want to, again, you don't want to cause any friction whatsoever. And this is the reason why the needs assessment call is so important, because if a client wants to be left out of a case study, left off of the website, then that's okay. If they're still willing to do business with you and continue to move forward, and you're still generating revenue with that client, then it's all good.
Yes, no, I meant for the context of when I actually give my presentation. Is it okay to say, so in the case studies that I show you today, I've changed my client's name? Do I need to say that, or is it obvious that I changed my client's name?
Well, I mean, that's totally up to you. Use your own discretion, change up the name, protect their identity. If they say, listen, I've had a lot of deals that I put together with speaking engagements where they did not want me to promote that particular brand or company in my marketing materials. They made it really clear up front, and I knew that, but they still paid me, so it was all good.
Okay, got it.
You know, take it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, do you do that sometimes in your presentation, KTO? Say, you know, today I'm going to talk to you about some case study, and obviously, you know, changing the client's name, but using
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I will use the scenario, but not give the company name or not give the specific. Sure. I'll say, you know, because there's a lot of ways you can generalize and still borrow pieces of it from that particular experience. And that's what you want to do as a speaker. Utilize every experience possible. It is not a breach if I don't use your name, if I don't use your company name, if I use the general scenario, which a lot of clients fall into a scenario. So you just have to, when you're playing around with, I should say, when you're dealing with sensitive information, see how I corrected myself? Instead of saying playing around with information, I said when you're dealing with sensitive information, it's all in the choice of verbiage that you want to use. And I call that alternative language. Alternative language is finding a different way to say the same thing that gets a different result.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Got it? Thank you.
You're very welcome. Keep us abreast of what's going on with all your deals, and we appreciate you. Again, I appreciate all of our international students staying up late in order to accommodate the group call. Let me see. I mean, disable over the hand. We have Monia. You're up next, brother. Give me some updates on what's going on with you, boss. What's happening?
Sir, thank you so much for taking my call. So the issue of security and stuff like that, it's difficult because I've always found people that are in Pakistan to do my speaker video demo editing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to be on the safe side with the authorities here. So I've gone downtown DC, and I haven't yet found someone who can do it for me.
Okay, Namunia, let me see if I understand your question very clearly. You found someone in the DC area to
no.
No?
Yeah.
Who have you found? Who have you found to work on your speaker video demo? I just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
No, the one who responded is from Pakistan. So because of cyber and stuff like that, so I just saw that it's better. I would rather protect myself to be free from problems.
Okay, all right. So you're saying that you've had some issues with some designers or some graphic designers or
Yes,
from Pakistan?
yeah, I need to get someone if the platform could assist in me getting one to do my video editing.
Okay, you can go to school and put a comment in the general discussion section, and one of the students will give you one of their resources for video editing. So if anybody will help Munya when he puts in a comment in school to help him, if you've gotten your speaker video demo done affordably and it looks very, very high profile, like a lot of our students have, respond in the comment. Munya, if not, I will make sure some comments trickle in from here, from the chat box. We will make sure we forward the information over to you. You got to be resilient. And what I always say, when you're dealing with contractors, you got to interview at least 3 to 4 or 5 of them. And then whichever one feels the best to you, that has the best kind of credentials, fits your budget, and it's going to give you the results you're looking for, ask to see some of their work. Everybody on the internet is not a scam. Everybody from Pakistan doesn't do horrible work. You just caught a bad apple, move on. You still have to get your work done. You got it?
That's true. That's true. Because it's, if you can quickly, if you checked what had been happening these 2 weeks in Glasgow, there had been a lot of talk with, especially with the climate change and the challenges which the earth is facing right now. Okay. So that's kind of the package I need to put it into my speaker video demo.
Absolutely. You should. And watch this. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's important that as things change in your industry, in your niche, that you should highlight those things in your speaker video demo. Think about how the world has changed since March 2019. I mean, me and Austin were March 2019. We were literally at the last game of the NBA shutdown before they shut. Literally, the Brooklyn Nets were playing the LA Lakers. We were at the Staples Center with one of our clients, sitting floor side, and the next day the NBA got shut down. We are far from March 2019. The world is different, but I tell you this, we've come a long way. So as things change, upgrade your marketing materials, upgrade your messaging. Let your messaging speak volumes and reflect where we are. I can tell you right now, diversity inclusion is one of the hottest topics in the corporate space right now. Eventually, people are gonna get tired of hearing diversity inclusion, but right now it's not going away anytime soon, because it's very much needed. Munya, you have a niche and you have a voice in that niche. That is how you earn more money in the speaking industry. Drill down in that niche and deliver as much value as you can to meeting planners who will be interested in placing your messaging on their stage. Don't worry about how, what it's going to take to get there. Don't worry about the what.
Thank you. I understand.
Focus on the how. Just take it one step at a time, and eventually you will find placement with your message. It's very unique what you have to offer, and you're very passionate about it, and someone would love to put that kind of information on their stage. Remember that, okay?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, did you have any other questions?
No, but I'm just saying what you say, if we are to bring that together, me being a person from Southern Africa, and I'm trying to bring the world together, you find what you say always has got a lot of value.
Absolutely. Well, the fastest way to bring people together is number one, your messaging needs to be.
Want to say.
Amonia, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Your phone broke up a little bit. Can you repeat what you just said, please?
Oh, what I said is, being a person from Southern Africa, and now I'm here in DC, when I'm trying to bring, I've been all over the world, when I'm trying to bring with the different cultures on what we need to, the message to send to the world, all what you say has got a lot of value. I'm seeing that. That's all what I want to say.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, when you bring the value, the market will find your message. That's how it always works. Like we don't have to press and struggle and go through like pulling our hair out to force our messaging on a market. When your messaging is strong, people are going to recognize your authenticity. An audience will find your message. You will start attracting people to your message. That is how it works. You just stay passionate about what you're focusing on, and please focus on getting your sales tools complete, because that is the vehicle that is going to carry your message to the target buyer who will be interested in hiring you to speak. You got it?
Thank you so much.
All right, Monia, you hang in there, brother. You hang in there. You don't get discouraged, man. We all are walking down the same path. You just stay focused on what you got to do. Take it one thing at a time, and eventually we're going to get there. Remember, this is a marathon. Alex, talk to me, brother. Kenneth Morton, you're up next. I see your hand up. Thank you for your patience.
Hey KTR, just following up, in regards to like the stuff that you were mentioning to Charlene in regards to like to emails and stuff. I know I have a little trouble with that too, so just keep at it. Too, so you're not alone, Charlene. My updates is I heard back from everybody. Right now it's just going through the event committee's process, so they have everything. The one with it's 4 locations, like I told you, New York, and stuff like that. They said they had a few speaker spots open, so they're letting us know where Trevor can fit in and which locations.
Okay.
So yeah, just updates in regards to it. No questions, just updates in regards to that. So hopefully that'll be, if I get them locked in, that basically will get us to at least half of our, speaking fee goal for the year.
Good.
So
good. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that too about, and Alex, we always appreciate you sharing, because look at it like this. A lot of people don't have speaking goals. All of you should be making a speaker goal for the rest of this year, if you can. Like Alex just said, he's already at half of the goal that they set for themselves for the 2021 campaign. Obviously, you have more time, more lead-in time for 2022 to get things on the calendar. And you always got to have something to shoot for. You have to have a monetary goal of what your speaker business wants to do on a month-to-month basis, and obviously on a year-to-year basis. And it's your job to be able to understand that when it comes to sales is about attrition. And I dropped a video today on my social media, and I talked about warfare. I call it Camo Kev here with dropping another gem. And I talked about war is about winning by attrition. So numbers for your speaker business in your sales funnel look like this. But by the time you shrink it down to meeting planners who are actually serious, it shrinks down to this. You may start out with 100,000. It may shrink down to 1,000. You have a certain percentage out of that 1,000 that's actually going to convert into revenue. And that is how you're able to pay bills and run a business entity. So predictability and consistency. The better you are at lead generation, managing your sales funnel, the better you are at closing, from actually managing your speaker business from contact to close, the better you're going to become and the more money you're going to generate. And Alex, you're sitting in a situation right now where you have to be patient, because putting together bigger deals and multiple tour dates requires patience. We talked about that a little bit last month, but I can't tell you how many times I'll just literally have $25,000 or $50,000 in one day literally fall off the table. Maybe a person doesn't show up on a follow-up call. Maybe you got a person that bit off more than they can chew and they can't commit. Yeah. I literally had a gentleman today that was ready to pay full fee on his coaching program, and his grandfather passed away. Just that fast between I talked to him 4 days ago and his grandfather passed away. He said, KTR, I have to table this for the moment because obviously I have to deal with this. Clearly you send him out. Condolences to him and his family. Whenever you're emotionally available, we will continue, if you can continue with them at all. It's all a numbers game, Alex, and you're going to have all of these circumstances, and you have to manage your speaker business on a case-by-case basis. So remember, just be patient to let things unfold. You're doing an amazing job right now, sending over the emails. Hey, see, Alex is smart, everyone. He'll send, if he is in doubt about his verbiage, he'll send it over to us. Hey, KDR, what do you think about this? And Alex, I've helped you clean up a couple of your emails.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, it's important when you speak another language and you're connecting with people who speak English, sometimes it's a broken patterning throughout the sentence structure because you learn how to put sentences together differently when, you know, listen, Alex, this is why you can be Alexander some days and why you can be Alex on other days.
Yeah, exactly. Or some people, they're very formal, they'll be like, Mr. Bryant, how can we help you? And I'm like, okay, you know, so it really depends, like, you just have to tailor yourself to like,
absolutely,
to the audience. So, and it's very interesting because Trevor's audience is educators, right? So they're used to, you know, students and, you know, other faculty referring to their, you know, their surnames or their married name, maiden names and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But with the event coordinators, it's so interesting because like a lot of them is just like Alex and it's comma, wherever the message is, you know, so it's very interesting, the dynamics, and you just have to adjust. And then being British and American, I have to remember my context and words to make sure, okay, is this an American terminology or is this a British one?
Yes.
So
yes, it's very frustrating, but it is really a fun dynamic to deal with because you are learning every single day of how to connect with all these different nationalities. You know, it's amazing, Alex, years ago when I was doing a lot of traveling overseas and I've serviced over 78 different nationalities. And, you know, I would get a folder, you know, a little dossier, a little file on that particular country. How does that country like to shake hands? How do the countries like to connect? You know, how do you establish instant rapport with a lot of times you do it through food, culture. So it's important that you understand, I got a really crash course on World Cup soccer. I got a jersey from every single country that I visited, and it automatically made me a superstar in front of their eyes because I had the jersey on for their native country. It allowed me to bond with them immediately. And then I was able to connect with them. But then I had to learn that when there was a sign language or a multicultural interpreter involved, and your workbooks have got to get translated in a different language, you learn really fast. So what I've learned is that when you're speaking to other people from different cultures, slow down the rate of speed, break down your word sequences, be as simple as possible, and do a lot of listening. So, you know, it's a fun process, and take these experiences that you're learning here now, Alex, because you're going to need them later down the line to keep growing your speaker business. Remember, stay in the cut, and it's difficult to have patience when you want to earn money, but it all starts to unfold. You have multiple tour dates you're trying to close right now. You're keeping the meeting planner very close to you. You're doing all the right things. You're responding to the emails. You're getting them to respond to you. They're passing it along to other board, chair, or committee members. And then also, you're keeping your messaging with Trevor's brand consistent. And that's how you give yourself the best chance possible, even when some leads fall off, or even when you get told, no, we're not ready for you until 6 months or 3 months.
Right.
Still
or a year.
Exactly. Yeah. You still keep the connection going. Stay top of mind. You're doing all the right things. That's why I was so proud of you every single time you show up. You don't have to. You have a successful sales funnel and a nice lead flow happening right now. And the fact that you still show up for these calls says a lot about your character. And the fact that you won't settle for just saying, oh, we're successful, we got lead flow happening. You still know that mistakes are happening on a day-to-day basis. And that's what a real entrepreneur does. They tackle the problems, they deal with it, hurdle over top of the obstacles, get new information, because we're nothing without being empowered with information. That is how you solve problems. And the more information you have, the quicker you can solve the problems. And problems and challenges and setbacks, when you're an entrepreneur, it's not if, it's when. And when the win happens and you see it every day, Alex, that's how you become sharper and quicker at problem solving.
Yeah, exactly. We're always to that point where, we continue to improve and continue and be willing to continue to learn, like that's why I also jump on these group calls, because I'm also learning, taking notes. Okay, have I thought about this area? Should I improve this part?
Yes,
Yeah, totally agree. But
absolutely. Well, thanks so much for sharing.
of course, thanks for letting me chat a little bit.
Appreciate you, boss. Talk to you real soon. Okay, let me see. Kenneth Morton, how are you this evening, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fine, KTR. How are you?
I'm doing super fantastic, man. Great to have you back on the group call again. How can I help you? What's your call?
Thanks for having me. Here's my question.
Yes, sir.
When I think about, so I'm in the tools early on, as you already know, thinking about my 4 signature programs.
Yes, sir.
I want to understand if I'm thinking about this in the right way. And this that I'm talking about is most of what I have written about, and a lot of my speaking has been around leadership and the whole attitude, positivity piece. And I understand, thanks to the conversations we've had, I'm making a fundamental shift to make sure that I begin to provide more solutions-based messages. That's the platform that I'm building. Now, my question for you is, when I think about my 4 signature programs, and I'm looking, I've got some notes that I made here, the who. Within my 4 signature programs, is it correct or incorrect to think about dividing that message by age? So for example, what I mean by that is I've spoken to youth, as well as I've spoken and written a lot of, my messaging and books to adults. Is it okay or correct or incorrect to think that one of my 4 signature programs could be youth-based and another could be adult-based? Is that trying to split the hair too many ways, or should I focus on one or the other?
Okay. Well, first of all, that's a great question. And it's a common challenge that speakers have to deal with that are multi-talented like you, that have a wealth of knowledge like you do, that have a program that could very easily go into the youth market and could easily transcend over to the association or corporate market. What you got to keep in mind, Kenneth, is the following. There is a low end and a top end to every market. The 6 that we cover on our platform are the youth market, speaking to kids, the faith-based market, speaking to churches, the government contracting market, the college and university market, which is 1, the association market, which is another, and then, then the corporation market. So the challenge is that it's difficult to focus on one, which is what I respectfully request you do, because when you have a message, for example, some people, they know that they have to speak to kids. It's a part of their legacy. It's a part of their home study course. Their entire training system was built around helping kids excel, improve grades, reduce juvenile delinquency, help boost self-esteem. Their entire program is built around kids. We have a ton of speakers like that on our platform. They have a message for kids. So I feel, in my experience, your messaging will find legs to the right market that pay the top end fee at the bigger budgets for the schools in the suburbs, the charter schools, the private schools, or the conferences, these youth jamborees that they throw, these tons of countless leadership conferences for YMCA, things of that, Boys and Girl Scouts of America. There are tons of conferences that pay the top end fee in the youth market. What I have a problem with is when you're not sure what you want to do, and then you're going to put on your website that you offer, like the Chinese food carryout store in the hood, Kenneth. You have hamburgers, you offer the chicken teriyaki skewers, but you're also making pizza? Really? Right? If I'm looking at that on the menu, I'm like, they don't do anything well. Five Guys crushes hamburgers because all they sell is hamburgers. Chick-fil-A crushes the chicken sandwich because they do chicken sandwich better than anybody else in the fast food marketplace. That's why the line is wrapped around the building and up the road, period, because they specialize in one thing. So I would say, clearly you are a leadership speaker. That's why I recommend to the students on our platform to pick leadership as your topic. It is the most requested and bookable topic at conferences, corporate meetings, and events worldwide in all of the markets combined, period. They book leadership. They don't book motivation, and they don't book inspiration. They book leadership first. Then they pick your niche. So let me clarify this for you. See, Kenneth, you're multi-talented, so this is where the confusion lies, because you know you got a strong message for the kids, and I want to save the kids. But then you're also this executive who has this wealth of knowledge, and you could easily teach leadership in the corporate or association market, who without a doubt, hands down, pay the higher fees. Okay. So the real question, Kenneth, is, let's just clarify. Now it comes time to choose. Indecision is a dream killer. So if you had to say that you have more of an affinity for which market, corporate market or the youth market speaking to kids, which one?
I would say corporate.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now, if you would say corporate, you jumped over there kind of quick. So it's nothing wrong with that. So then watch this. That means that you're going to fall in the category that I'm in, which is servicing corporations and associations. I spent 75% of my career has been in that market. Now, what I learned is that I can also, when my money started getting right, you know what I did? I started a youth outreach program. It's called the Kevin T. Robertson Mentorship Program. I trained my interns and young people how to work the red carpet and cover celebrity events, teach them radio, television production, teach them how to be an entrepreneur. I had to stop letting the youth market, the bottom end of the youth market, let me be real clear. I had to stop letting the bottom end of the youth market suck the life's blood out of me because they weren't paying me. The closer you get to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, they're going to have zero check or very little check. And that's the danger part about dealing with a lot of the high schools. You can do good work, but I say do the good community work after you establish economic stability. Am I making sense what I'm saying to you?
Yes, absolutely. I follow that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That really helps.
Yeah, no problem. Now, so, okay, now, Kenneth, because let's put a cherry on top of this. Now that you've chosen out of the 6 target markets, which one you would like to excel in, now it's about getting the messaging down. And you could do solution-based leadership if you wanted to, as one of your signature programs. God knows that these corporations need speakers who know how to come in and deliver solutions. That could be one of your signature programs right there. Remember, we are in a broken global workforce. Kenneth, what I would do if I were you, and you're very intelligent, you're very educated. What I loved about our very first conversation is you have a gift of taking something complicated and simplifying it. So what I want you to do is I want you to study your market, and I want you to study what's going on of what you're witnessing with your own eyes, and then say, this is what's missing with leadership. The problem we're having because of the pandemic is fill in the blanks and then jot down your ideas about your signature programs and then get it out of your hands and let me take a look at it so I can give you some recommendations about how to polish up that language to serve that specific target market. Remember, you are approaching, when you get on the other side of your signature programs, you are approaching 3 different things, Kenneth. So let me clarify, because you got to make sure that you see this very, very clear. You've chosen your target market. It's the corporate and association market. Remember, the association market is like an a la carte market to all the rest of them. There is an association literally for everything you can imagine that complements all of the other target markets. You have your target market. Your target audience is going to be people that are working professionals, people who have a desire to learn more about creating solution-based strategies in their lives. Then you have a target buyer. Remember, your target audience are the people sitting in your audience in these corporations who are suffering from a sedentary lifestyle and a mental health crisis right now. And your target buyer, make no mistake about it, your target buyer are the conference coordinators, corporate meeting and event planners, chair, board, or committee members, key decision makers who will be interested in hiring you to speak about your leadership topics and booking your value on their stage so they can get a return on their investment. You got it?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Always be clear about your target market. Always be clear about your target buyer. Always be clear about who's going to be consuming your messaging. Stay under the category of leadership in your niche. Let me hear your ideology, your approaches to leadership, and then send it over to us and let us give you some feedback on your messaging. We go back and forth about 2 or 3 times. We'll be on the other side of your signature programs. Then you'll be ready to understand what sales tools put together. Keep on rocking, brother.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very welcome, Kenneth. Talk to you real soon. Yep. I mean, you see it every week on our platform. Kenneth is a great example of a gentleman who was struggling to find time to work on his signature programs. But like I tell everybody, and I'm waiting for some more hands to go up, and I just got a little intermission here. And if I don't see any more hands go up in the next couple of minutes, okay, Anita Yarborough, I just saw your hand go up. But what I find is that when you really understand what's required out of you as a professional speaker, then you start dedicating more time when you understand what you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to be crafting the messaging. So all of you have a responsibility. Remember, it's not how much time you have, it's what you do with the time you have that is important. And, you know, and Kenneth allowed himself to take the dive off the cliff without the parachute and trusted the process, and he's learning from it. See, again, what I asked Kenneth one respectful request. Kenneth, the ones who submit support tickets and show up for the group calls are the ones that have the most success on this platform. This man is limited on time, but he's still making time to ask questions, show up on the group call. Don't hold the questions. This is what we're here for. Get the questions out. You don't want to sit over there and stay in your knowledge base. Remember this, your brain automatically will kick out anything that's not familiar to your current database of knowledge. That is how the subconscious mind works. That's how it's designed. You have to force in new learning through repetitions. What are repetitions? Submitting support tickets, showing up for the sales, showing up for the Q&A calls, asking questions repeatedly throughout the week. You don't have to wait for the group call. You don't have to wait for the weekly Q&A call. You can submit support tickets every single day. And the ones who do, the ones who actually do the assignments, turn it in for feedback. We're not here to crucify you. We're here to help you. I'm here to save your life, not take it away. I'm here to breathe life into your speaker goals. Support. This is a time of year, by the way, and I'm getting to you right way, Anita. This is the time of year, and all of you need to hear me good on this. This is the time of year where you need to be purging. You need to be going through a cleansing process. You need to get rid of things around your house that is not serving you. If it's broken around your house, you need to get rid of it. Clothes that you aren't wearing, call the Goodwill, call the truck to come, remove furniture. Get rid of relationships that's not serving you or uplifting you anymore. You have to be able to get rid of the old to usher in the new. And this goes all the way around for your speaker business. You have to gain some kind of new clarity in order for your vision to start manifesting on a whole nother level. You got to feel it, see it, think it, and then it's going to manifest into results. Anita, what's your question this evening? How can I help you?
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good, good, good. My question is, and I hope you understand me clearly. I know I am in the process of, I'm still working on my demo, but I got somebody working with me, and it's taking them a while to get some stuff done. So
Okay.
we're like going back and forth. But in the meantime, I noticed on Instagram some what they call these PR promotional people, record companies, reaching out to me. And I guess because they look at my content on Instagram, and I guess they figure they want to promote me in order to get more subscribers. And that way, I guess I can get more people knowing what I'm doing. Is that advisable? Do you think that's something okay? Because I know for these little promotion things, they do say it's like your Facebook, how Facebook promote your business.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're doing, and you give them some content to promote, and you pay them per week or by the month to do this.
Okay.
It's like a record company. It's been like 3 or 4 record companies or people who represent record companies that do PR. I
Yeah.
want to know, is that something that you would recommend for people like ourselves to do?
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, I don't rise by knocking anybody else's service. So I'm not going to tell you not to use it. What we are here for is if you have a link, you want us to check it out, and you want us to like, hey, do you think this is a good firm to use? Do you think this is a good move? Should I pay them for this particular service? I've paid PR firms $4,000, $5,000. They didn't give me any media appearances. I've gotten a lot of stuff on my own. I get asked more now to be on podcasts and television and radio than I ever have before because I'm not looking for it. See, when you're not looking for the publicity, that's when it comes. But you gotta make sure these PR firms, listen, it's a bullish market right now when it comes to services online. Everybody's sliding into your DM and wants to offer you something. You got to be smart enough or realize, is this a service I need to grow my speaker business? I'm not telling you no on PR firms. I'm not bullish on PR firms because a lot of them are full of shit. A lot of them really can't deliver what they say they can deliver. Why spend money on that to get publicity? Typically, things like that don't result in a booking for a speaking engagement. Free organic outreach strategies that we have on our platform, Anita, can keep you focused on you getting a return on your investment back to pay for your initial coaching fee. And tons of our students are doing it. They're like, oh, wow, I already got my coaching fee back. Already, I'm booking some speaking engagements. Now I have some money to start spending on paid advertising to start attracting qualified conference coordinators. And remember, you can start spending as low as $1 a day on Facebook advertising.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So the PR and these agencies out there who claim that they can get you publicity, the first thing I would ask them is, well, is that going to help me book any speaking engagements? Is it, watch this, because what a PR, and I got to be real clear about this, Anita, because a lot of people don't understand it. I'm glad you asked the question because it's easy to jump at things that look like it can elevate you quickly. See, it looks like, okay, that does it help you establish credibility with PR? Absolutely. If you're able to get in a publication, appear on a podcast, does that give you exposure? Yes. Does that help with the part when you're building your sales tools about credibility? Yes, it does. But what I learned is a lot of the people that want you to pay them for their service when it comes to PR really can't deliver on what they say they can do. So it's a way to do your due diligence on them. Ask for the past performance history, ask for some clients. They should have all this stuff in the links, by the way. They shouldn't have to tell you what they can do. They should be able to demonstrate their past performance history and then check them out. If you're not sure about it, send the link over to us. I'd be happy to give you an assessment of anybody. Listen, students send us links all the time. And if I feel like it's valuable for your business, and you have to understand what niche you're in. Some people, if you have a specialty niche, maybe PR is what you need in order to gain some more media exposure and go a little bit deeper down that road. But before you spend any money on anything, I suggest you get with the free organic outreach. Let your speaker business start earning some money first. Unless you have additional money that you can afford to invest in these other programs, then do it. If not, I say stick with the free organic outreach. Get your coaching feedback first. Get a little bit more money. And if you can afford PR on the side, if it's a good look for you, then go with it.
Okay, because I wasn't sure. I mean, I did look at their page, but what I'll do is I'll send you the links, the people who reached out to me, because I didn't make a move. I was like, let me ask KTR first.
Watch PR firms. There are a lot of services and believe me, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on training, coaching, services. Some of them work and some of them don't. You know, I'm not gonna tell you what to do if you feel like it's a good look, but can they get results? At the end of the day, that's all that matters. If I'm going to spend some money on something, can you get me results? Anita, think about why you gave Speaker Focus your money. That need to be the same mindset of why you need to give that other company your money. If you're going to use any services, man, they better be able to deliver. Because let me tell you something, it's a lot of fake shit, a lot of frauds, and a lot of people that cannot deliver on what they say they can deliver in this market space right now. And that's why I'm not bullish on PR firms. Not the small ones. And the big ones cost so much money, you can't even think about them on the level that you're on right now. Because the big ones cost $25,000, $50,000+. Right. And you will do a national media appearance if you are a New York Times bestselling author. But remember, all that publicity and that shine, that takes time to be able to grow. It will come in time, but you got to build your brand out the right way. That's why you should be focused on building a brand. Because people identify with brand.
Right.
Keep working hard on building your brand. Get your sales tools together. Let me give you some more feedback on it. You got to be at a certain level if the media is going to touch you anyway. And a PR firm will tell you, yeah, we can get you here, here, here. But what are you going to give them where they can sell you to a television, radio, podcast, whatever it is?
Got it. Got it.
It all comes when you build the foundation the right way.
So let me ask this question, because I believe
yes,
this was asked, but I'm not too sure. I don't too much remember the details of that question because it was my first day on the Q&A.
Okay.
I believe I heard someone say, because they had not finished with your program, that they were asked to do some speaking gigs. Not to say that that is happening with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what if the fact that, I haven't got my website up, and pricing, do you walk people through that, or do you just advise us to tell whoever wants us to do a speaking gig to hold off, or you can't do it right now because I'm not ready? Or how would I handle something like that if I'm asked to do a speaking gig ahead of time? Because I've got a couple of people who've already inquired, and I just kind of smiled at it, and I just had to put in I just told them, let me get back with you, because that was a question that I figured I needed to ask you about.
Okay. All right. So let me answer that. It's a two-part answer to that question. The first part is, how can you possibly substantiate and justify your value as a high-fee speaker if you don't have your signature programs with the value in there, and you're demonstrating and illustrating that through the opening paragraphs and the bullets? They give all the key takeaways, help them achieve their desired outcomes and all of their learning objectives. Secondly, this is how you know that the meeting planner is serious about booking you to speak. There are so many people that slide in other people's DMs and try to get them, but they're thinking about getting you to come speak for free. So this is how you weed out all the imposters. Get to the yes or no as quickly as possible. You don't have time to be playing around managing a sales cycle.
So something, you answered my question. It would make sense. So, since even though I have done speaking engagement in the past, this I think you said it in the last class. Get the value. If I don't have the experience, I can still utilize that as an experience and negotiate the recording, getting them to record a video, and I think it was something else that you said to negotiate.
The speaker negotiated menu is you can select something off of the speaker negotiated menu, like video, pictures, testimonials, build those right into your speaker engagement agreement, and many other things that are on there that you can get accommodate. Like Lisa Allman-Ballman last week was talking about, she negotiated the booth fee. A booth at a conference typically costs like $800 on average. So she doesn't have to pay for that, right? She's getting a whole bunch of perks and stuff in there, if you have to take a lower fee. But remember this, the people sliding into your DM right now, they're asking you to come speak. 3 things you need to be listening for. Number one, do they have a date to offer you? Do they have a budget? Do they have a venue for you to speak? Is it live? Do they have an actual date and a venue already booked, or is it online? If they have 2 or 3 of those, you stand a chance. Start asking them those questions. People inquire you to speak. This is the first thing. Do you have a tour date in mind? Yep. KTR, we got April 22nd, 2022. Okay. Where's the event going to be held? Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. Okay, great. Is there a budget for this event where you're paying speakers? Tell me what you got in mind. Yep, we do have a budget. Okay, well, let's start talking. Okay, well, KTR, we know we want to hire you. What are your fees? Then I just give them a ballpark figure. Is that something that's within your budget? No. Okay, well, then you don't want this kind of speaker. Maybe you don't want a $50,000 speaker. Maybe you want a $5,000 speaker, and that's okay. If they're not serious, Anita, don't have them waste your time. People want to slide up and start talking to you about booking you to speak, and what do they have to offer? Number one. Number two, is your business set up to, is your speaker business set up to facilitate business transactions? Right now, yes or no?
No.
Okay, then you still got some work to do. If people are asking you to speak, is it for real? Ask them those 3 questions. Do you have a budget? What's the venue? What's the date? That's how you make all of the imposters go away. Leave me alone.
Understood.
You got it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Keep us abreast of what's going on, please. Focus on getting your sales tools done and be patient. It's going to all come together for you. Don't worry about it. Okay. We are going to wrap up the group call. If I don't see any more hands go up, I want you to keep this in mind. You're coming through a time of year. JK, I see you just got your hand up. Let's go. I'll get back to my point after I answer this question. Jonathan King, talk to me, brother.
Hey, doctor. Glad to be on the call. Hope everybody's doing fine. I just got a real simple question. Very simple. Okay. Going through module 5. Love this module. I just got a question about targeting different organizations I'm trying to get to. My niche is going to be universities and colleges in California. So I'm wondering, should I manually, since I know there are 114 community colleges and maybe another 35 or so universities, should I just go in and get the information regarding certain people that I know need to be targeted? For example, somebody told me the other day, you need to target the presidents of those companies or of those colleges, maybe the vice presidents of student services, and then any committees that have anything to do with diversity and equity and inclusion.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that strategy, by the way. You have a large concentration of Californians like North Carolina. They have a lot of colleges just in that particular area. Just in Southern California alone, they got a lot of colleges. So I like the strategy. What I would do is you also have these event coordinators. They are the campus activities director. You have the, each one of them has a specific department. What I love about the college market is about 4,000 plus colleges throughout the United States and US Virgin Islands. You narrowed it down to a particular niche because you want to stay at home and collect all the money. I mean, at times I've done 30 orientations just for, the college market just in the fall alone, stretched out just 30 orientations, new student orientations. So, you can do the diversity inclusion, obviously, and the how to prevent racism or reduce it or bring an awareness to it is a huge topic. The college market, those kind of presidents, those kind of chancellors, you can deal with it on the higher level if you want, but the ones that really control the budget when they want to bring in the clowns, the bands, the jugglers, the musicians, the hypnotists, the illusionists, and the gospel acts and the speakers. The ones that control the budgets are all these particular committee members or the head chair of that particular leadership. And remember, what makes the college market work is the student activity fee. All the students pay the student activity fee, and that is part of their tuition. So it's mandatory that they promote campus activities and that they have things on the calendar all the time at colleges. You just got to be able to hit that market, have your sales tools prepared as you do, and then let the college market, let all those college markets know exactly what you're doing. Now, are you thinking about buying a list of those colleges for 5 to 10 cents a name? Are you thinking about dumping all those in a database, or are you going to just do cold outreach through calls to see if they want to be a part of your tour? What's your approach?
You know what? I was thinking that I would do like a email marketing blast. First of all, just do that and send it out to all of these college presidents and VPs and people that are affiliated with the student services side. But I haven't set up my letter yet. So I'm trying to figure out what the letter is going to say, what it's going to look like. And I'm pretty sure that the messaging will be different for community colleges versus the university market. So that's where I'm at. I'm kind of stuck with that right now, KTR. And I'm getting people calling me saying, hey, you want me to set you up with buying a list? And I'm not really certain how to go about doing that. I've never done that before.
Okay, right? Don't worry about it. I'm getting ready to get Austin in here right now, and I'm gonna tackle the first part of the question like we always do, and then I'm gonna get Austin to tell you how to execute the particular list. Okay, so Troy, I need you to be on deck, please. If are you available?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna give answer Jonathan's the front part of the question because I've had to do this before as a speaker. And then I want you to tell him how to execute it when he actually gets the list. Now, Jonathan, there's 2 ways to do this. The long way, obviously, is through outreach with your phone, which this information is easily and readily available right there on the university website. You can find the student activity director, the head of multicultural affairs. There is a multicultural department, literally should be at every single university. You can start with them because that is probably where you're going to get the most coming up. They got Black History Month coming up. They got every speaker in the world trying to bum rush them right now, trying to get their programs together for Black History Month. You with me?
I'm with you for sure.
Okay, you can do that through phone outreach. That's the long way to do it because you're going in cold. They don't know who you are. What I recommend is you promote it as a tour.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Would you like to add your university as a leg on the tour? I'm doing a diversity and inclusion tour, right? I'm doing a leadership and diversity and inclusion tour. Boom, you can just call it that. Now, the other way to do it, and I'm going to let Austin step in here to tell you how to execute this in your CRM and what you're learning in Module 5 right now. The other way to do it is pay 5 to 10 cents per name. You can call up, there are publishing houses and fulfillment companies right there online. You can do some research on it, interview about 3 to 5 of them. They can give you can buy a list and narrow it down. Listen, I need a list of all the colleges in Southern California. Or you can try to Google and see if it's a list, but you need a more concentrated list. Then you can start working the list. Now, here's where Austin comes in. Once you buy the list of the email addresses, now how do you get them imported into your customer relations management software and manage those leads effectively, creating top of mind awareness and then sending out your campaigns? I'll jump back in after Austin finishes telling you how to execute the leads when you actually get it into the CRM.
Wow, this is great. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah. What I would recommend doing, all the colleges in Southern California, just Google colleges in Southern California, click on the Wikipedia link. They're all listed there. What I would do is create a Google sheet, and in the column, just have the college name, and in the second column, just have the decision maker that you're trying to reach. What I would do is just get all the colleges in the spreadsheet, and then go on LinkedIn and search in the search bar, put the college name, and then maybe do like event coordinator or something like that. and just find each person that you want to reach at that college.
Right.
And you can, use the LinkedIn outreach process that we teach in there. What you can also do is, just search their name. If you don't want to pay for the email list, you can do all this for free. And I think you can make a lot of money doing it. It's just going to take more time. Another way you could do it is, using that spreadsheet, just Google, University of, USC, it would be, event coordinator. And I'm sure their information is online where you can just quickly grab their email address right off the website and just plug the email right inside the spreadsheet, and then just manually reach out to these people. You could do like, the paid way where you just, go online and search, email lists of, Southern California universities. But what you might, using that method, you're probably going to have more out of date information because these companies acquiring the leads, have a hard time keeping them up to date. So you might be reaching out to people that no longer work there, but yeah, you could do both ways. I'd probably recommend just doing the first way where you manually go and find these people and send them personalized, LinkedIn messages and emails.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I'm gonna start working on that right away.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to acquire the information. Once you actually get the spreadsheet design, then as you go further on in module 5, Austin talks about which software that you want to use, Active Campaign, Pipe Drive, things of that nature. And you're going to start managing those leads. You're going to export those leads or import those leads into your CRM and start managing those leads. Remember, there's a lot of in the college market, probably once a year, that job title turns over because the student activities director may be a junior or a senior and they may be getting ready to graduate. They have an advisor that they go to, and the advisor is part of the administration. The administration doesn't turn over as much as the person who is the head of the multicultural activities. So just like Austin said, if you're going to buy a list, it doesn't stay up to date because it's very difficult for it to stay up to date when the chair, board, or committee member, or the president, or the person that has the title holding the power is moving on to another position.
Right.
And this is the difficult part about managing a list. And that's the reason why you got to get those names in the list. An email address typically doesn't change with a Gmail or something like that over a long period of time. But those edu email addresses, those such and such .edu, they change all the time. The person holding the power is the one that makes the decision, is the one you need to get in contact with. And so always make sure you stay up to date with your list. That's the most difficult thing in the college market. It's doable, it's possible, but just like Austin said, bro, you can sit on the phone and just do direct outreach. And just because you're very personable and they know you have a topic that's needed. See, in order to have success in the college market, you have to produce a leadership topic that enhances campus life. And if you can do that, which clearly your signature programs are able to do, then you'll literally catch on fire. Once these colleges start understanding that you're in a local area and all you want to do is stay in that area, man, they'll be on you like white on rice. But to get it off the ground is the most difficult part. So have patience, be aggressive, have a real strategy, stay in contact with us on a regular basis and keep sending stuff over there. When you start getting to the point where you're like, okay, I have a spreadsheet, I have a database now, send a support ticket to Austin and let him walk you through, or either go back in module 5 if you missed it, and then he'll tell you how to manage those leads in your CRM and manage that software. You got it?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yep. You're very welcome. Yep. I love your strategy. And I love the fact that you picked the focus, and that's what you got to do. You can't be all over the place whenever you are deciding that you want to grow your speaker business. You have got to pick a specific market and then drill down in that market and then stick with it for 3, 6, 9 months, a year. Let it start dripping out revenue. And then eventually you're going to start getting more of the market share. Then you're going to start making adjustments. And then you're going to move on to start becoming very profitable. You can't be profitable off the break. It's like this: build it and the meeting planners will come. And a lot of you are too focused on accelerating to the end. But if you listen, one thing I love about Jonathan, he's patient. This is one of the valuable parts about getting older. But I know he wants to make revenue, but he knows you got to keep coming back asking the questions. This is what we're here for. There's no way that you pay for higher level mentorship that has the kind of information that we have that you shouldn't be tapping into it as much as possible. Why would you want to sit in pain? You don't have to. And this is what's keeping a lot of people stuck with growing their speaker brands. That's why they can't get it off the ground. If you look at why a person is able to excel with their brand of speaking, excuse me, versus a person who is stagnant with their speaker business. The one that's stagnant has no activity going on. The one that's stagnant don't get the assignments done. The one that's stagnant don't submit any support tickets and they don't ask any questions. They stay, for some reason, some of you you're a glutton for your own kind of punishment. Instead of just submitting a support ticket or jumping on the group call, just like Jonathan did, and clearing it up about what you're confused about, getting the answers. A lot of you, I'm telling you right now, the best thing you could do is binge watch module number 5. You should know module 5 like the back of your hand. Go back in it, dig in it. Auston makes it so easy for you to understand it. But if for some reason it's something you don't understand, support@speakerfocus.com. Hey, Auston, I'm not sure about how to get these names. I got a list of like 150 schools in here, but I'm not sure how to get them into my CRM. I'm not sure how to manage that. And then we can talk about it. We can help you put it together step by step and make the speaker business do what it's designed to do. BJ, you're up next, brother. How are you?
Well, let me just make a quick comment about the universities, because I was on the student council years ago, and the student councils change every year, graduate and undergraduate.
Yep.
So in addition to the special events coordinators, I would personally reach out to the graduates and the undergraduate student councils, because we used to bring in people and we may only pay a couple $1,000s, but we had the budget to do it. So keep that in mind when you look for universities. Always look to see who's the new president of the university from a student perspective and from a graduate student perspective.
Yep. Yep.
The
Absolutely. Thank you, BJ, for sharing that.
The other thing I want to just briefly say is, because I'm going through it. So if I'm going through it, I'm sure some people here are going through it. We get so bogged down with how we're going to pay the bills or doing whatever we have to do that it takes away from the focus of creating the brand. And sometimes we just have to let go and let God. And that's very difficult to do. I'm dealing with it right now as I'm talking to you. And when you stop worrying about bills and how they're going to be paid and start focusing on how you can create prosperity, I believe that's when it changes. It's just something that has to be learned. It can't, it's one thing you can say all you want about it, but until you just focus and believe, it's not going to happen. And I had to come to that conclusion recently. So, that's just a perspective that I have. But my question is, what is the most effective strategy did you personally use to get your first big speaking gig?
The strategy to get my first big speaking gig. Okay, what I did was, when I was on a lower level, the without a doubt, the thing that was my first breakthrough when I was coming out of my 20s into my early 30s was, without a doubt, when Les Brown heard me speak at a church. I was still learning how to understand the corporate market. I wanted it, but I was delusional. I didn't understand how to go get the corporate money. So I was in broke, begging, and desperation mode. And I literally was allowing the meeting planner to give me what they wanted me to have. I wasn't confident at managing the sales cycle from contact to close. I was not confident in substantiating and justifying the value through my messaging. I didn't know anything about signature programs. I was strictly a motivational or inspirational speaker. I was on my first book at the time. I was just speaking at a youth rally when I could, at a convention center gig whenever I could, doing some local stuff, started branching out, doing some regional stuff, but it would always bring me back home. I had to do the local stuff. I had my foot. See, this is what you don't want to do. And this is why I'm sharing with all of you right now, learn from my mistakes. But when it's making you money, it's hard to stop. But I was just chasing money. I was in that mode of chasing money because I didn't understand how to attract the money like I do right now with the kind of mindset that I have. I was still young. And my marketing mind was young. I didn't understand the business of professional speaking yet, but Les Brown did. So I was just still speaking in the youth market, still speaking in the faith-based market, speaking at a high school whenever I could. I was still a small-time speaker. I wasn't a corporate speaker yet. I sure as hell wasn't doing work with the seminar companies yet. I didn't know how to customize any of that stuff. I wasn't in the government contracting market. I had yet to get there. I was not in the colleges. I may have done a couple of colleges at that stage of my career. Because again, I got those because I was speaking at some youth thing and somebody asked me to come speak over here, but it was all the low fee stuff was attracting more low fee gigs. Because my mindset was low fee. I didn't know how to ask for $5,000. I didn't know how to ask for $1,000. So here's what happened. The dream is real and it's not supposed to be perfect. But I literally knew that I had to keep going forward. And see, BJ, another thing with us too, you say, yeah, we're wrapped up in the bills, we're wrapped up in this. We're also wrapped up into how it looks to other people. I'm just going to keep moving forward, even though I know I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You see, I wasn't in a coaching program. I didn't have any guidance, but in my gut, you know what my gut was telling me? Bro, you need to get this exposure. You need to keep taking these low fee gigs until you don't have to anymore, until you figure it out. And here's where it happened, BJ. I did a gig at a community center. Somebody asked me to come speak at one of the larger churches in DC. I said, yes, I will come. No money, $0. Let me be real transparent. Back then, I was still doing positive motivational music. And I performed with my boy John that day. We took a song from the SOS band called High Hopes, and we turned it into like a spiritual kind of motivational rap song. It was fire. So I was still incorporating music in my presentations back then, because again, I was young, so that's what I was going through at the time. Anyway, man, me and John take the stage, they run the track, we're crushing it. I do the opening song. All of a sudden, the audience gives me a round of applause. They love it. I say, oh, okay, all right. Then I start jumping into the message part of my presentation. I'm going stage right, stage left. I get about 15 minutes into my presentation. I literally see Les Brown. Damn, it gives me goosebumps when I say it to this day, because this was the defining moment that changed my career. I see Les Brown right there in the middle of the stage. I said, I know that's not Les Brown. Watch this. Hold up. You know, BJ always got a microphone handy, right? I'm like this. I'm walking to the right. I walk to the stage left. I came back stage right like this. And when I came backstage right, I see him right there at the corner of my eye. I said, damn. I said, I know that ain't Les Brown right there. I said, light bulb went off. So I just paid them I pay homage to him and I showed him respect. And I said, just like Les Brown, I took one of the points where I was in my book and I said, just like Les Brown, he's been a mentor to me and I've never met the man before, but I've been following him for years, just like many of you have, and everybody erupted in applause because everybody knew who Les was. I finish up the song. I walk off the stage. In the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, okay, yeah, I just, man, Les, Les kind of gave me the little head nod like that, did like that. I was like, okay, cool. Me and John walked off. John went home. I was out in the lobby selling my book, minding my business. Les Brown walks over to my table. He sees my table display. Listen, when I tell you to start where you are, I didn't have fancy marketing materials back then. I had one blue suit. I still got that suit hanging up in my closet to this day. I won't throw it away. I had one blue suit. Les walks over to me. He said, I like what you're doing. He said, listen, Ken, he's checking out my table, by the way. He know I'm small time, but he knew it. He knew that I had it. I just didn't know the business yet, but he knew I had it. He knew I had raw speaking ability, just like a lot of you have on here. And then what happened, BJ, was this. He leans over, he said, hey, Kevin, I don't know what you're doing. This was a Friday night when I spoke at that church at a special ceremony. Les Brown was only there because his daughter was from Atlanta singing in the choir. The universe will literally get out of your way and conspire when you have a vision in your head. It wasn't my job. It wasn't my job to figure out every single step. My gut was telling me, you need to take this other gig over here. You have to take that opportunity until you don't have to take the opportunities like that anymore. Now, watch this. Les leans over to me and say, hey, Kevin, I like what you got going here, man. He takes my book and he fans the book open like that. He checks it out. He said, I don't know if you're doing anything this Monday, but I want you to come perform that song. I'm doing this event called Motivational Monday at the Greenbelt Marriott. We got the ballroom over there. It's probably going to be like 1,500, 2,000 people there, whatever. And I want you to open up the show with that song. And I want you to perform and I want you to speak for 15 minutes. Bring all your books. We're going to sell all your books, all of it. I said, Les, of course, trying not to act like I'm happy, but I'm doing backflips and everything in my head. I'm like, damn, man, Les Brown is literally right in front of me asking me to come speak. Anyway, I go do the gig. I open up the show. I blow it up. And out of that, BJ, I got my first Fortune 500 client. I literally went from the small time to the big time in one tour day. I got an 8-part speaker training with Bristol Myers Squibb. It was a television network called the Dream Network. God bless Dr. Alvin Jones. Dr. Alvin Jones used to own that television network, and I used to do the entertainment news segment on his radio show, WNEW CBS Radio in Washington, D.C. Dr. Alvin Jones owned the Dream Network back then. I got an 11-part video series with the Dream Network that gave me product to sell. That television network was international, by the way. And I picked up a couple other clients out of there. Last but not least, to round out the story, BJ, not only did I sell every single book, because I had a training with the nonprofit to do the very next day. So I had to hide 20 books for that executive training. And I literally I probably sold like 150, almost 175 books that night. Not only did Les put money in my pocket, he saw it and he believed in me. BJ, just like I told you on the phone, that I see it in you. I have a gift, just like Les saw it in me. He knew I didn't know the marketing, but he knew I had the talent. And he also told me from that, he asked me to come be on his radio show so I could promote my book. I didn't know how to do a radio interview at the time. Les stops me doing a radio interview and says, Kevin, don't answer the question like that. This is how I want you to answer the question. He said, ask me the question about your book and watch how I answer it. I said, the same question that he asked me, I asked him to him, and he was a consummate professional. And I said, oh my God, that's how I should do it. That's the kind of speaker that I want to be right there. And literally, I programmed what he said in his mind. And when he asked that question to me again, and his engineer rolled tape, I answered the question and I got in a better flow. And he taught me to be poised, polished, and professional. Take my time. He said, Kevin, you're going to have success because you know what you're talking about and you believe in yourself. And that's was the pivotal moment, BJ, to change for me, that turned Kevin T. Robertson into a small-time speaker and got me into the big leagues. Now, when I got into the big leagues, I still didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I tell you what, I got me some training and some help quickly, and it just kept growing and growing. 25, let me see, 10 tour days, so 11 tour days after the Bristol Myers Squibb thing turned into double that the next year, like 25. Then it jumped up to the 30s. Once I crossed the 50, I was getting 50 bookings a year. Then I incorporated the seminar companies in there. I was contracting with all the biggest public seminar companies in the world. And then it just hit a whole nother level when I started traveling internationally. And that's how I built a global brand off of one tour day. Literally changed my life. You got to put the work in, all of you, and you have to allow it to happen. Stop worrying about being big time right off the break. Big time is going to come and slap you right in your face, just like it did to me. And you ain't even going to be, you're not even going to expect it, but you got to be prepared for it, because there's no way Les would have put me on that stage if he didn't think I could handle myself. You got it, BJ?
Yeah, got it. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Do the work, brother. Do the work in it. And the dream is real. It will happen. The universe will get out of your way and it will support your speaker goals.
Much respect. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're very welcome. You got any other questions?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Well, we are going to wrap the group call unless anybody else has any other questions. Man, I get excited. I haven't told that story in a long time. I am a living example of what happens in the speaking industry. That when you graduate at age 17 and you jump into your first paid speaking engagement a couple months later when you turn 18. And I started out, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And Rafa Escobar has a question. And now I'm in the top 20% of leadership speakers on planet Earth who know how to transfer knowledge at an extremely high level, hold your attention for elongated periods of time while being entertaining. What makes you a high fee speaker is that you have to do the work, and you will get your fair share of opportunities in your niche, in your target market, but you got to get the work done. Rafa, talk to me, brother. How you feeling?
Kev, I'm doing real good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing super fantastic, man.
Yo, I loved hearing that story about you and Les Brown. I swear to God, I feel like you're my Les Brown.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was inspirational, bro. Now I got a question for you.
Yes,
I'm refining my biography as I'm getting close to finishing the speaker info kit.
okay.
And I was wondering if you could just tell me, I have the tendency to write a lot of words and I'm trying to shorten it down to kind of make it as impactful of a biography as I can. So from a meeting planner's eyes, like, what do you think is the most, and I'm following the formula. The thing is because I've written so much, I went through the 8 paragraphs and I'm still having a hard time bringing it down smaller. So I was considering maybe eliminating one of the sections. And the one that I was thinking about considering eliminating was the book section, just because I haven't written a book.
Okay.
But before I go eliminating or changing anything, maybe you can give me a little guidance as to either A, how to shorten it, or 2, what's the most important thing that they want to see?
Sure. Okay. So first of all, you filled out all the questions for the bio formula. Then you're supposed to turn your questions convert them into paragraph format.
Correct.
Three ways you could do your bio, Rafa.
Okay.
Your own version where you don't have to take anything out. You can save that one for your website with a drop down and they can read your entire story if you want to add more information. Obviously, the font size inside of the text box for your speaker info kit, from a design standpoint, all of that text will not fit in there. That's why I tell you to break it up into 8 paragraphs. Try to shorten them as much as possible. You simply have got to learn to separate yourself away from the emotions of what I want to keep versus what I don't want to keep. Keep the stuff that's the most powerful, and everything else just got to go. So
okay,
you can have the short version inside of your speaker kit, and then you can have the really short version Like I'm talking under 200 or 300 words. I have to do this a lot when people want to, somebody in Albania wants me to be on a couple magazine covers coming up. They asked me to submit a bio with 200 or 300 words. So, you know, that happens all the time. They want the short version of the bio. So make sure you have a short version. Your short version could be for people that don't want a lot and they need to fit it in a small space, or they just want an abbreviation of your credentials, not the full thing. A short version bio will work great for an introduction, your speaker introduction. You don't want the meeting planner reading a long version of your bio, man. Just put the highlights in there and you got enough stuff that's going to be good enough to introduce you, to tell you where you're from, what kind of experience that you have. Watch this. 3 things your sales tool should do, Rafa, and you can get long-winded with it or you can get short. The speaker introduction, short version, under 200 words. I know that's difficult, but it's possible.
Yeah.
The longer version inside of your speaker info kit, 8 paragraphs. Why do you think you see 8 paragraphs in my bio? Because you can literally say what you need to say in 8 paragraphs and get it over with. The long version, if you want to have a long version, put the long version in your website, have a drop-down menu so they can read more.
I see. Okay.
Why don't you save some of the bio? If you got to write a long bio, save some of it for writing long form copy and then start producing content through LinkedIn. Write some articles. If you want to write a lot of words, write some articles.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you watch this, Rafa, if you want to say a lot through video and post that on your social media. You're loquacious. I get it. No problem. If you want to write, for you writers, you people that love to write, you better start breaking that up into short form and long form posts and put that out there on your social media.
Yeah, that's important, and that's a skill that I have yet to. I'm working on it as we speak, and you know, this program's really pushed me into that corner because I've learned so much throughout the years that there's just a bunch crammed up in my head. So getting it out into paper and onto text, I think that the biggest thing is the writing articles and writing a lot of words. That just opened up my mind into a block that I had, because that'll help me develop those different, the longer, the shorter, and the mid, and then bringing it out to LinkedIn or to social media will help me communicate better as well. You know what I mean?
Bro,
so
follow the system, because the reason why we have you build it all out is because it doesn't matter what it is. And I get asked to do stuff every single month. So when I feel like it's a good look for my brand, I'll do it. But I got every kind of piece of content on deck you can imagine to give to the person where I am controlling the narrative. I got so many articles, new articles is coming out at the beginning of the year. Again, I'm about to be on a couple magazine covers in a whole nother country, Albania. I'm doing a couple other things because we are growing internationally, and people are starting to reach out to me and they want to do things on me. They want to write articles on me. They want to know about Speaker Focus. They want to know about my journey. So you know what? I got all kinds of pieces of content, because they're going to give you the criteria. They're going to say, can you give me a short bio? A short bio is not a long bio, Rafa. It means under 200 or 300 words long. Typically, that's what it is. Oh, they want the short bio? No problem. Now, I don't give them the same picture every single time, and this is the reason why. Because when you start pulling up, see, I control the content that I'm emailing them. I don't email them the same picture. Why would I want to do that? All these pictures behind me, do I have the same thing on? No. Do you ever see me with the same thing on the group call? Unless it's a Speaker Focus hat or a KTR shirt, something like that. But bro, I got a specific brand. And so therefore, I want to see different content across multiple platforms. So I give them different pictures. Every single time somebody want to do an online article, I send them a different picture. I send them multiple pictures. You know what that does? As soon as that link propagates and it gets on the internet, it takes it about 30, 60 days to show up on a Google search, and the new content and new article, boom, it just moves right up closer to the search engine. That's what it's all about. And every time I send them a short version of my bio, I am having consistent information no matter what you're clicking on. It's the same bio, and I'm always upgrading the language. If I have some new things that happen, guess what I do? Do a quick update to my bio. You always got to be willing to do that, because when your speaker business grows, the market changes and you have to keep upgrading stuff. That's why you have to control your website. You have to control your speaker video demo, and you got to control your speaker info kit. Control the content, because you're going to have to upgrade it all the time. Why do you think we're teaching you a very valuable skill of copywriting? Because you will never forget how to write copy when you finish program.
Right. And I was going to say that perspective of controlling the content, I had it at first just from its base point, which is for you to have the stuff and for you to be organized with it and know where it's at. But then on the flip side, not only having it organized, but having it readily available and knowing where everything is and being able to deliver it. And then also too, it's like it all builds on itself, because as your business builds, as you get more experience, you continually are updating those things. And that's like more of a long-term vision of the business that, like you, as you were speaking earlier, as an entrepreneur, those are the things you got to do. And these are the things that I'm learning to like to do because I never did before, you know what I mean? And this is where it's really pushing me, but where I'm finding my best. So I appreciate every part of the challenge. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're welcome, Rafa. Yeah. Remember, you're loquacious, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have a lot to say. You have a lot of energy. You're high energy, bro. You got to start documenting. Documenting is grabbing a video, grabbing your phone, and then adding value to the meeting planner. You know what's going to happen? Another thing why I want you to, you should be documenting every day, every other day. You should be writing long form and short form copy. Anybody that loves to talk a lot and you got something to say, utilize those words through your social media. Just make sure it has value to your target audience. Make sure it has value to the meeting planner. And then what's going to happen is, through sheer repetition, you're going to get better at managing your social media. Send it over to me. Let us give you some ideas. Let us critique what it is you're doing. Rafa, your last 3 or 4 videos that you sent me have been on fire. The script that you sent for your speaker video demo, fire.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about, bro. Let it out. What are you holding back for?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm working on that fear piece in my head that hearing you, like, I can't tell you how groundbreaking last week was for me. Just every time you give me the feedback is those little pumps of energy is what gets my voice out there. Because up until then, I've just been someone who just questions literally everything that I do. But rather than question it, I'm going to write it down and then bring it to you for, the revision purpose, and also just to get that practice, because rather than sit here with a bunch of ideas in my head, I could be over here talking to you about them and actually acting on them, but it's crazy. It's a learning process of getting out this goddamn fear. I've been stuck in it for so long. You know what I mean? That
it's a habit. It's a habit. It's a habit, bro. And what you're doing is you're attracting the same thing that you're thinking about. You keep attracting it. Why don't you do this? The questions that you're asking yourself, why don't you write those questions down and then come up with some solutions for those questions the fears that you're dealing with yourself, and then take those bullets and turn them into solutions for the meeting planner.
Oh shit.
Hey, meeting planner, conference coordinator. This is Rafa Escobar. And I was just writing down some things that I'm concerned about. Things without, one of the things I'm going through right now. Bro, be transparent with people. Stop trying to be perfect. Let it out. If you're making mistakes and you're messing up, show the people that you're making mistakes and messing up. Watch this, Rafa. Hey, I've been dealing with, overthinking things, and, I really haven't handled facing my fears properly. And I've been asking myself a whole lot of questions, and I've been getting in my own way. Hey, so I come up with a way to deal with this in a better manner. Perhaps you're going through the same exact thing. Well, I end up curing myself through this evaluation process, and maybe you can gain some value from this too. So if you're a meeting planner and you are faced with a conference or something that you have coming up, and fear is getting in your way, or you're overwhelmed, and what I learned is, and I learned this from one of my mentors, about simplifying. Remove everything that doesn't serve you or uplift you, and then you can start having more clarity and you have less anxiety. I feel better when that happens. Then move to the next tip. Tell them exactly what you're doing every day to repair and heal yourself, because all of us are going through it every single day. Am I making sense?
Hell yeah, you're making sense. I need to ask you a question off of this though, because what you're teaching me to do is to get out of my own fear by documenting it, analyzing it, coming up with a solution instead of getting stuck in that thing. And then from there, being transparent and sharing how I did that and sharing the fact that I got stuck and this is how I got unstuck. Now, the question that, and this shit is powerful. Now, my question is how do you, in my head, I've been so stuck in the rat race, if you will, and I've been nothing but money centered. So to make time for an activity like analyzing my fears is something like, I guess as I'm speaking it out loud, I'm like, on the back end is going to bring the money because you're going to get past the fears. But on the front end, like, how do you put that on your schedule? And it's like, all right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to work on fears today. You know what I mean? Like, so, because my mind is so centered around what's going to make me money. And so sitting down and working on marketing material has been the hardest challenge of my life because I'm not doing outreach and I'm not calling and doing those things. I'm sitting back and I'm being patient. I'm like, God damn, this is the hardest thing ever. So how do you kind of begin to clarify or make that mindset shift and more so trust and work on other things other than just getting the money, I guess?
Okay. Well, first of all, as much as the thing that you desire the most is the thing that is the most evasive. If you focus on getting money all the time, the money is going to literally get away from you. You have to focus on delivering the service. You have to focus on the discipline of serving other people, and then the money is going to come. It's not going to come by accident. It's not going to come by luck. It comes because you have enough patience to manage your relationships or manage your business properly, and then you start attracting the byproduct of service are the financial rewards. The byproduct of service is making sure that people are actually benefiting and that they can actually move the meter and they're progressing from your service or your knowledge. See, that's one of the things that's very difficult when you're young, because you want to get the money. You're focused, you got a family, you want to focus on getting the money. I gotta take care of my money. But I'm telling you right now, when people when they dream chasing, you're gonna be chasing the dream forever. You have to start empowering yourself with I am statements. Not I want to be a professional speaker. I am a professional speaker. Not I want to be a multimillionaire. I am a multimillionaire. I am successful. Rafa, if you go back and look at my social media history, I'm telling you how I'm able to come up with these posts. I just let the messaging channel through me, and I come up with a theme like the one I did today. I said, the reason why you're not a high fee speaker is because you don't know how to deal with warfare. So I said, okay, I'm a Camo Kev. I got me some new KTR shirts done. I'm gonna turn into Camo Kev today. And I'm gonna drop some gems about warfare. People don't understand warfare is conflict. So I'm dealing with a lot of warfare going on inside me right now. And I said, I'm going to deal with my shit first, and then I'm going to make this work for other people who are growing their speaker business. The post is for me first. Then I turn it into, okay, well, how can this be of value for other people? Because maybe somebody else is struggling with this too. And sure enough, you get your inbox blowing up, you get the likes going, you get the views up there. I posted for me first. I'm documenting my pain, bro. You got to do the same exact thing. Stop acting like you ain't going through shit right now, Rafa, because we all are.
Right. And you know,
vulnerable.
That's the thing that you told me, how this would be very therapeutic for me, because I've been hardwired to just say I'm good, you know what I mean? And that just blocks you from the vulnerability. And the piece that I was missing in what you just said with the social media was analyzing what you're going through, and then not only make it for you, because I'm so conditioned to making the post for me, but then to turn that, how can that be of value? Don't just get stuck in the it's for you part. but
Right.
how can that, what you're going through, help somebody? Now, let me ask you, because I'm much like you in the fact that I could sit there and I'm like, all right, just let it kind of come through me and then boom, got it, right? But how do you combine that with, you know, in one of the modules, I think it was module 3 or 4, when you talk about like content calendars and things of that nature. How do you kind of organize it or structure it? Because I find myself, if I'm just trying to like let it come through me on like a Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not very consistent and I don't really follow up with it. I just kind of do it when it hits me. You know what I mean? So
I got you.
How do you?
That's how I post content at this stage in the game, because I have so much. I don't need to post regularly because I have so many seeds planted when you go down my timeline. However, I was on a content schedule, and that's what I would say. Block out time to create content. I know some of our coaching students, they do the content early on Sunday morning for their downtime for the whole week. Some people get up on a Saturday and they literally record content for the whole week, and they just do a drip. They maybe post 2 or 3 pieces. Like, I don't do that anymore because I have so much content. Now, if me and Austin are working on a specific strategy of how I need to ramp some things up. See, I know that I've been doing a lot of videos over the last couple of years with me chilling with gear with the pandemic, because we all been in the house. Well, I'm getting ready to go back on tour next year. So that's why you see me switching it up strategically. And you see me, you know, on my keynote speaker, keynote Kev is on deck, right? And I said, I got to create more content. So on the day where I know I'm producing content, which is the Monday group call, because I really don't like shaving. And I typically shave on Monday, and for the rest of the week, I just let it ride out. Unless I have some place that I gotta look. I'm talking baby fresh. Hey, look, you're gonna get me in my best on Monday. By the time Sunday rolls around, bro, I got a full graze, all this. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
I'm still willing to document content. So my thing is this: if you don't have a lot of content, you need to set yourself up on a schedule, because when the meeting planner goes to your social media, and this is one of the best ways to support your sales funnel, is that when they start clicking on, what are they going to find out when they go there? See, I post content based upon what is needed to drive revenue, period. When I know I need to post something, I'm good. You know, I hadn't posted a video in a while. I say, you know what? I put my shirt on today. When I saw this shirt, I said, okay, I already know what I want to do with it. When it came back from the printers, when it came back from the guys who do the fulfillment on my shirts, I already knew the theme that I had. Camo shirt. My theme is going to be warfare. Bro, I don't do anything. Everything I do is intentional and deliberate. Every single thing. Because it drives revenue. Social media is a support tool for your speaker sales funnel. No matter what it is you're doing. Rafa, you gotta start being more vulnerable, bro. You gotta get to the pain. People appreciate the fact that you're dealing with your pain, and that the fact that you are capable of being able to not only document that pain, but then they can gain value from the very pain that you're going through. But see, what people want to do, they start grandstanding as a speaker, and they start living on Front Street. Nah, I don't want to show people the pain. I don't want to show people my failures. I don't want to show people all the times when I was broke. I don't want to tell them right now that I'm writing bounce checks to pay for gas. I don't want to tell them that I really don't have a lot of friends. I don't want to tell them that I'm embarrassed about this. Bro, I don't give a damn where you are in your life. I've made some horrific mistakes. Own up to it, live up to it, deal with the pain. I'm in therapy every single day because I deal with me. I deal with my own stuff, and I let the world know about it, because somebody is going to heal from this. This is why we have the #1 platform for speaker marketing.
Man,
if you can get more real than this, then you're welcome to work for you.
I gotta say one thing first. That shirt is absolute fire, bro. I'm telling you, everything I rock is camo. Like, I love the camo spread, and I love the message that comes with it, and I love those colors.
Yes, sir.
And the thing is, I never looked at content like driving revenue, because I come from a space of using social media just to kind of show life, you know what I mean? And before, when I was doing other dumb shit, but now it's like seeing it in a space where you're supporting you're supporting your sales funnel. In addition to that, just you just tied in that fear piece at the beginning of working on your fears. There's nothing stopping me from journaling those fears on a daily basis and utilizing that to create content. And I'm gonna do you one better. What I'm gonna do is follow up with, once I create this content calendar, I'm gonna send it over your way for just a little critique and feedback. And then I'm gonna rock off of that schedule and just get something going more consistently, because I think that'll help with my original question, which is content or copywriting and going down that route too. You know what I mean? So thank you for wrapping that up. I had no idea that shit was coming. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Listen, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep documenting, Rafa. Don't think about, remember, once you come up with a theme, then start building your post around the theme and just speak from your heart, speak from your gut. You're amazing when you do that. But for you not to let it come out, man, you're just being selfish and just denying people how they can become healed from your brokenness. And that's what we do as speakers, bro. Right? Just keep doing what you do. Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna get off Front Street. Okay.
Hey, listen. We all lived on there at one point in time, but you know, there's no future in it. There's no future. Right. It's a whole lot more. It's a whole lot better to let people understand where you are in your life and your journey and document that journey, because, and then when you can take the pain and you can create a solution from it. See, everything you do about serving other people has got to be solution oriented, and they know the difference. And when it is, they will gravitate towards your brand. It's nothing more powerful than authenticity, bro. In today's market with all this fake stuff that's going on, I'm telling you, it's right there. It's right there. Wow. So look, I'll talk to you real soon, brother.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you. Love you. Appreciate you.
Love you too, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, we are going to bring the group call to a close. I want to thank everyone for your participation. And I want to thank you for all of the kind words, all of the comments. Remember that if you need any of your questions answered, support@speakerfocus.com. We would love to review your sales tools, your bios, anything that you have for us to read. Keep producing content, keep doing a great job, keep your head up, stay focused on your goals and dreams. Remember, we are approaching a time of year where it's about finishing strong, sliding into home plate. Just go through a purge spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, get rid of everything that you don't need and usher in a new kind of energy for 2022. It's going to be the biggest year in the history of professional speaking. It's going to be the biggest wealth shift you've ever seen in your life. Your business has got to be prepared to get some of this revenue. It's going to be well worth it. It's a lot of people that need your level of expertise right now. On behalf of the staff at speakerfocus.com, I'm Kevin T. Robertson, CEO, and I will see you right here, same place next time. I love you.